Hey guys, my name is Jake and you're watching The Bodybuilder, and I am 4 weeks post L5S1 interbody back fusion, and I just thought I'd give you guys an update of how I'm going, how the surgery went, and just my insight and my kind of thoughts and opinions on the surgery. And if anyone is out there considering the surgery, highly recommend watching this video and just watching lots of people's opinions, people's experiences with this surgery, because information is power, knowledge is power. So a little few stats about me. I am 21 years old. I'm turning 22 in 6 months' time, so I am very, very young to be having this kind of surgery. And that was definitely a thing that was brought up a lot. Was that, wow, you're pretty young to be having this surgery. And when people keep telling you that over and over again, you start to question, is this surgery, is this procedure right for me? And if you are considering the surgery, ultimately you're going to be asking yourself the same question: is this procedure right for me? So a little bit of background of how my back injury occurred. About 3 years ago, I had a water skiing accident, and I cartwheeled in the water, flipped over, and I basically did my back. Now, whether or not I popped a disc then and there, I'm not too sure. And because I basically took a couple weeks off of work, I couldn't really walk after that water skiing accident, but I went to see a chiropractor. He basically told me that I've probably torn a whole bunch of ligaments in my back. I need to rest up, I need to take things easy, just try not to lift heavy at work. And so I kind of took it pretty easy for a couple of months, and I started to essentially heal up, okay? But the problem that I had was that I was working 25 to 30 hours casual at a grocery store, lifting heavy boxes all the time. Lifting heavy boxes, lifting heavy fruit and vegetables, because I worked in the fruit and veg department. And that stuff's heavy, man. I'm lifting crates that are easily 30 to 40 kilos on my own. And, including on top of that, I was going to the gym 4 times a week, lifting weights. On top of that, I was playing cricket 3 to 4 times a week. And, I'm a bowler and a batsman. And just kind of all these activities, man, all these things that I probably should have kind of maybe not have done as much, impacted on my recovery of my back. Because while I kind of let it heal from the water skiing accident by cutting down work, after a couple months I kind of felt a little bit better and just went back and did all the stuff again. And I kind of went from, healing up to basically there were days where my back was just so painful to then days where it wouldn't hurt at all. So it was kind of this cycle of on and off, on and off, on and off. I'd heal up, then one day, twist wrong or pick up something wrong and I hurt it again. And this probably did not help my situation. And it got to the point where my mum was like, right, we're going to take you to a back specialist. Because at the time my mum had 2 back operations, because she also had a bulging disc, but hers went from 5 mil to 17 mil one day, and unfortunately caused nerve damage in her legs. But my mum had experience at the time, and she's like, right, we're going to take you to a back specialist. And I went to see a back specialist, and he basically got me to do some exercises, some stretches, called the McKenzie method. And basically said to me, right, well, from you getting relief from these exercises means that you've probably caused a little bit of trauma to your disc. He said, I don't think you've got like a huge disc bulge. You've probably just got a little bit of trauma and you've got a little bit of fluid leaking out. But just do these stretches religiously and, see how you go. And so I was doing these stretches where, it's basically kind of arching your spine up, and these stretches to help kind of push the disc kind of back in naturally. And I had really good success with it, man, like really good. But just, I kind of did it for a couple months. I felt fine, and then just, out of nowhere, the pain came back, and it just continuously got worse and worse and worse. And ultimately, 7 months ago, so July last year, I basically could not walk anymore. I got to university and I got up and I just was in that. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life, ever. There's something that I never want to experience ever again. Don't want anyone to experience. I was experiencing sciatic pain for the first time ever down my leg, and that was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible, man. Your leg literally flops to the floor, and it's the most sharpest electric shock out there. Like, it just hurt. And I was in so much pain that I said to my mum, I cannot go to work today. Like, I cannot walk. It got so bad, man, that I couldn't even slightly lean, like, if I'm standing straight like this, I could not lean like this, like that much, just to spit after I brushed my teeth. It hurt that much. And unfortunately, I had to stop working. And so I haven't worked since July last year. I stopped working, I stopped playing cricket, and I basically stopped going to the gym. I still kind of went to the gym, but I was super careful, man. I only trained upper body with really light weights. I didn't really do any overloading with heavy weights at all because I did not want to risk it. At that time, I also got an MRI, and that's when it revealed that I had a 7 mil disc bulge, and which was quite substantial, as well as my disc was wearing down. My disc was worn down quite significantly for my age. And so I went to see a neurosurgeon who, this particular neurosurgeon, actually did a back fusion on my mum as my mother's third back operation a year prior to when I went. And she had amazing results with it. And so I went to the surgeon, and he basically explained to me that, I have a couple options. First one, that is the most common one, is cortisone injections. But he explained to me the percentage of people that get pain relief from cortisone injections is really only about a 30%, relief. As well as he explained to me that, every time you can only have 2 a year, and he sees in patients that every time people have it, it kind of gets less and less effective, and that was kind of the issue. Because prior to seeing him, I had been living on pain medication, literally pain medication all the time, and it was terrible. Taking pills all the time. I didn't want to be someone that was taking pain patches and Oxynorm every single day. I really didn't. And I had already given, as I said, I stopped working, I stopped doing all this stuff. So I'd given my back complete rest, and, it was still quite sore. And, he basically said to me, despite your age, I see no issues with performing this back fusion for you. And he explained to me, the risks, he explained to me, the complications, but he also explained to me, the success. And ultimately, guys, back fusions are actually such a common surgery. I was so terrified because I'd been reading all these horror stories online of people that got worse, never healed up, their next disc got issues, all this stuff. But I couldn't find any positive stuff. And the truth is, because people that have this operation and are successful, they're not going online to post their success. It's people that have had, bad issues or bad problems, posting their negative stuff. And this is such a common surgery, my surgeon was saying, and it's important to find a good surgeon. And my surgeon was a neurosurgeon. He was ranked very highly in Australia. He was such a kind surgeon. He was someone that encouraged me to ask questions. He was someone that encouraged me to understand what was going wrong with my back and how I could fix it. He wasn't just like, right, well, we're just going to do a back fusion, see you later. He encouraged me to have a think about it. And he was very, very sympathetic. He was very kind. And that's what I think that's what I think is important within a surgeon, especially if you're picking one. Someone that, doesn't just say, right, well, it's just going to be like this, And so I decided to go for a back fusion. And all I can say was that I was extremely nervous, but it has been life-changing. It truly, truly has been life-changing. As I said, it's been 4 weeks, so it's 1 month post-operation. The surgery, man, has been life-changing. My back pain that I used to have for three years is gone. It's gone, completely gone. I have no disc back pain at all. The only pain that I have is just surgical wound healing and, general discomfort from the fusion. Because I basically had it cut down my back, two side cuts like this on my back, and I basically had it. They did it through that way. I could have done it through my stomach, which would have been less invasive, intrusive or invasive. I don't know which word, because obviously they don't have to cut the bone of the back of the vertebrae. They just kind of push all your organs aside and work that way. But there was a 5% risk in men that there's a particular nerve that they could heal that would affect your ejaculation, meaning you wouldn't be able to ejaculate properly. It would ejaculate inside your body somewhere. And I didn't want to take that risk. That's 5%. You might not think that's huge, but that's 5 people out of every 100. And I was like, I don't really want to risk that, so just go through the back. Prior to the surgery, man, I was very, very scared. I was very, very nervous. Because as I said, I'm young, I'm only 21, and I'm having a major back surgery, and while I was I'm hoping that I had a full recovery and a successful recovery. When people are telling you, oh, you're so young to be having this, I feel so bad for you. It's, you just kind of feel, it makes you feel down, it makes you feel bad. And honestly, guys, this surgery is a mental challenge. Surgery is a mental game, a mental challenge, because you have to pull yourself through this. It's not easy. Okay. So, I went in for the surgery, got put under, and I was done and dusted relatively fast, 2.5 hours surgery. And, I woke back up. I was in recovery for a little bit of time. They give you they gave me a morphine drip that you can only press every 7 minutes to get the morphine. Apparently I pressed it 227 times in recovery. So whether or not I was in a lot of pain, that might have been an indicator. But they did give me an epidural after the surgery that they told me, would last for, so many hours. But I don't really remember waking up on the same day or the day after. I was kind of just so high on the morphine and all the drugs they had pumped into me. So the first 2 days within hospital, I don't really remember too much. And then on the third day was when I was kind of like conscious, and I felt no pain at all. I had pain, but it was like a scale of 10, like 3. And the nurses kept telling me, if it gets worse, even if it's slightly worse, don't wait for it to get so bad, keep it on top of the pain medication. My surgeon had wrote me this chart of all this medication they was going to give me. And I just said to the nurse, I don't want any of it. Like, I just want Panadol. And my surgeon came around and was like, you're one tough bugger if you're only just going to take Panadol, because, the epidural is not going to last that long. It's probably going to wear off soon, and you're going to start to feel the pain. But I only took Panadol, and the reason I only took Panadol is because I'm not officially allergic, but I get a nasty reaction to codeine. I suffer terribly with Tramadol. They gave me Tramadol, and I had the most terrible reaction. I went completely bright red. I was scratching my face, scratching my chest. I was so itchy. It was nasty, and I felt completely nauseous. And the worst part was I was like trying to vomit. And when you've just had a back operation and you're kind of throwing your body like that to vomit, yeah, no, that's not good. And I just, because they pump you with so many medications, different types of drugs, you get blocked up. You can't really go to the toilet to poo because you're blocked up. You're blocked up with all these drugs, and I just didn't want any more drugs. I just wanted a Panadol. And that's all I had, man. So pain-wise, after my surgery, it was fairly easy. Now, my surgeon reckons, because the reason why I have a few advantages as to why it was kind of easy, is because, one, I'm fit and I'm thin. He said, from a surgical point of view, it was easy for me to perform surgery on me versus someone who was overweight, because they didn't have to cut through much. They just cut through my back, and he just stretched across my muscle. We didn't have to cut through my muscle. We didn't have to cut through fat, because I didn't have any fat in my back. And there is a lot of studies to show that people that have this kind of surgery, if you're a fit individual, your recovery process is going to be a lot better versus someone who's overweight. And this is where we get to my how it's been post-op, how did I feel, etc. It took me, after the surgery, you can expect you're going to be completely stiff. Okay, if you're going through your back, man, you're going to be completely stiff. You're going to be all locked up, and you're going to not feel like you can walk at all. You're going to feel like you can't walk, and they will help you to kind of walk, but you'll be literally shuffling, just because you've just had a back operation. It's to be expected, but the most important thing is to keep pushing yourself to walk. Walking is key for this type of surgery. If you're having an L5 disc fusion, there isn't a lot of blood flow down there. And so when you're walking and all that stuff, it just helps loosen up all those muscles, your hips, all that stuff. And you don't have to be crazy. You don't have to go for like an hour at a time. Start off small, man. I was starting off just by walking, 2 to 3 times a day, just for 5 minutes. And I was trying to do some stretches that they give you at the hospital to tell you what to do. And I can honestly say with the surgery, every single day is a better day. For me personally, every single day I got better. Today I'm better than what I was yesterday. And, it's truly amazing. And the biggest thing that I can thank for my recovery so far is that I'm seeing physiotherapy. And, I found someone I found a group of people that specialize with people that have these surgeries. And getting proper physio work, even it's not crazy stuff. Like these exercises, these stretches, these things I'm doing aren't crazy, but they really help kind of loosen up everything. They kind of help, help with the nerve gliding in the back. They just help strengthen, and it primarily focuses on your core, because having a strong core, man, is so important to a healthy back. If you have a weak core, it's seen with people that have weak cores and you're picking up things, you can potentially injure yourself. And so these exercises have been really strengthening my core, and I've noticed a huge difference within my recovery. So if you're planning on having the surgery, definitely recovery is important, and I honestly recommend getting some physio work. Once a week, once every 2 weeks. So I'm recovering really well with the surgery. It's life-changing. I'm in no pain. The only pain I have is every morning I'm pretty stiff. That's just to be expected, I guess, and that may or may not go away. That and the bolts that they put, the bolts and the rods, whatever that they put in my back, I can feel it because I am so thin. Whenever the first couple of weeks when I lie on a seat, when I sit on a seat or lie on my bed, I can feel it. Like I can feel them pressing through my skin, like through my skin. And so when I'm lying on my bed, and I'm flat, I can feel the rods kind of pointing out of my back. It's a really weird feeling. And because of that, there was bruising and swelling. I had a lot of pain from that. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of pain, I just had general discomfort. But, my body's gotten used to that, and I guess, as I continue to heal, I'll get better and better. So, my recovery's going good. I actually want to show you guys my scar, so you guys can see how my scar's going. So we'll just take this, and so there's my scar. 2 little neat cuts like that. So as you guys can see, that was really, really small. And, my surgeon did an amazing job. I'm glad it's not like just one big long cut along the back, because it would have been a lot bigger. I was actually quite surprised how small the cuts were. But I'm quite happy with the progression of my wound, how it's healing up. And hopefully, over the course of the next 10 years of my life, hopefully, the scars heal. Now, the most important thing with this type of surgery is understanding your limits. As I said, I feel great. I feel like I can run. I feel like I can jog. I feel like I can pick up things, but I can't. I really can't. It's an illusion. If I try to jog or even try to walk really, really fast, my back will kind of just stiffen up, and there's a little bit of pain. It's like, ooh. Because you have to wait until your disc fuses, and it's so important that after you have, and this is what I'm saying, it's a mental game, that after you've had this surgery, you have to give yourself 6 months minimum healing time. 6 months where you are focusing on working on your core development, strengthening your core. 6 months of walking, doing lots of walking. 6 months of rehabilitation. Because if not, you could potentially undo all the surgeon's hard work, and stuff up the fusion. Because once the bone starts to fuse on the discs, once the vertebrae or the discs or whatever start to fuse together, that's when you can start, doing more, I guess, stuff. Okay, but to that point, man, all your back's being held by is just rods and screws. And while, they might be strong, they're not that strong, and you don't want to push yourself. That's why it's so important to rest. But this is where it becomes a mental game, because I'm not doing anything but studying at uni. So I'm thankful I have something to kind of stimulus my brain with. Otherwise, I can see it being really hard if you're not working, if you've got bills to pay, if you've got, you're not doing the sports you love, and because you're basically a cripple for the next 6 months. And that's really hard on the mental health. But you just have to stay positive. If you stay positive and you think to yourself, I'm going to heal, I'm going to get better, this is going to work, that positive mindset will reflect how you feel. If you're going to say to yourself, oh man, I'm done for, it's going to be the worst 6 months of my life, I'm going to be in so much pain forever, it's not going to work, you're not doing yourself any favor. Positivity matters, man. This is a life-changing surgery, okay? It can change your life. And you need to stay positive. And this is where, people ask me, but you're so young, why did you have this surgery? The ultimate reason is because I didn't want to live in pain anymore. Yes, I will have to change my lifestyle. Yes, I will never be able to lift, deadlift 200 kilos ever again. And if I do, I'm stupid too. But that doesn't mean I won't ever be able to deadlift again. I'll just have to be smart, because what happens when you have a back fusion is that the disc above then takes the weight, it takes the bulk, it takes a majority of the, because the disc below is now fused, so it takes an excess, amount of weight now. So, if you have this particular surgery and you put a lot of weight on, like a lot of body weight on, it's putting more pressure on the disc above. If you have this surgery and, you still go back to work and you're always lifting heavy, if you're a laborer or something like that, ultimately you could potentially, and there's a high probability that you're going to damage the disc above. So this is where it's a life-changing surgery, because you have to adapt and you have to change your lifestyle from it. Okay, so guys, 4 weeks post-op, I feel great. I can walk really well. I can sleep really well. I can sit for long periods of time now, and I can and every single day is getting better. So thanks guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, or you guys are thinking about getting the surgery, just drop them down below and I'll try to respond to them. Honestly, man, you have to weigh the situations. Do you want to live in pain for the rest of your life and take medication that might be able to help you, but over time make things worse? Or do you want to get the surgery that has so much potential to make you better and to change your life like it's changed mine? So anyways guys, thanks for watching.